Hey guys, Bryson here from Between the Trades. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, those three main questions: what is futures trading? Can I learn futures trading? Can I make money from futures trading? Now, make sure you stay all the way to the end. There's some great content we're talking about. And ultimately, if you need more information, give me a call and take care. Hello everyone, this is Bryson from Between the Trades and welcome to our futures trading webinar. So the idea of the course in which we're talking about is built for beginners and experienced traders, and we want to deliver a content of product that is for all skills and knowledge to help trade confidently and competently and end up like a pro. Look, the best way to start is to learn your foundation education for futures markets, what it looks like and how it works. That's the whole purpose of this webinar. The course is designed to build your knowledge to trade any futures markets and help you decide which market is best for you to trade. But to fast track your education and to deliver exactly what you need in transition into a confident and competent trading professional. And look, let's not waste much more time. Let's have a look at what that looks like. So this is Belinda and I. We are partners in the business of Between the Trades. And of course, the course content itself is the whole purpose of this on-demand webinar. We reside in the Gold Coast, to be in the hinterlands of Northern Rivers, to be more exact, here in Australia. And we are actual futures traders. Now, I know a lot of people bring education content, but they may not be a product of the product of which we are, and that is futures trading. So everything that you see today that we're presenting to you, we've done, completed, and are enjoying our trading journey. In fact, we've even written an article in Your Trading Edge magazine. Now, the podcast channel of Between the Trades is our way of speaking with other traders and getting their inspirational stories. As the name alludes to, it is between the trades. So a lot of the podcast is about what they do when they're not trading. And that's because the income they earn from their successful trades gives them time to be able to enjoy those things. Futures trading education is the other section of Between the Trades on our website. And of course, this is what we're doing with you today. And the Gotcha Mobile business card being a product for anyone who's serious about business and wants the best opportunity to share their details, the things that they might be selling for personal use, even videos and photos. It is not an application, which means that the other person doesn't have to have that app on their phone for it to work. So you can just share your URL link and they can have a look at what you've got. Now, welcome. And of course, we want to address the most common questions for your futures trading education. And that is, what is futures trading? How can I learn to trade? And can I make money from trading? Let's just start with, what is futures trading? Let's take a quick look at the most common markets. Now, you may have heard about these markets from the financial news. You might have seen them on television, read in the newspaper, or even seen online. And of course, let's run through a quick overview of the most common markets. Stocks and shares, known as buy, hold, and pray. These are probably the most familiar with all of us. In fact, long-term investment is used with superannuation being one of those. Now, bonds, long-term investment by the government, and crypto being the new kid on the block. We all saw the notoriety of Bitcoin and its peak in Christmas time 2018. I think it even hit close to $20,000 per coin. Now, there's a lot of miners out there, and I don't mean under 18. I mean people who mine their crypto through crypto exchanges. And of course, it is probably the new kid on the block, but we can also have a look at that a little bit later. And then the infamous Forex. Currency trading is probably the most well-known. It is a market that was created by the exchange for those who wish to just trade currency. And of course, what is a market exchange? It is a highly organized market where brokers and traders buy and sell their products and goods and services. In most cases, you'll need to go through a broker to buy and sell with the market exchange. Now, there's a broker there surrounding the exchange, and of course, what is a broker? A broker is an individual or a firm that acts as an intermediary between an investor and a securities exchange, which is what we all trade through. So here's you now, and you're kept on the outside, and of course, the design in which this market was built was that you weren't able to deal directly as a retail trader with the exchange. So you were kept on the outside. And that was something that was generated by the brokers themselves. They were able to get their data directly from the exchange and then give you the products to see what was happening in the market. And because they gave it to you at very little cost or expense, but they made their money out of the trades. So one of the most common ways to trade is through a broker with an app on your phone and or iPad. Now, going through that broker means that naturally there's some changes that could be seen by you before you can make your trade. But look, I won't get into the nitty gritty. I just want to show you the comparison and why futures trading is probably one of the fastest growing online businesses out there in the largest financials markets in the world, which used to be kept as a very closed secret, and you wonder why it hasn't been out there. Well, this is what our job is at the moment. It's to introduce you to how anyone can now trade these financial markets. And we do that by the ways of future contracts. Future contracts give you the opportunity as a trader to trade directly with the futures exchange. Now, as you can see in this infographic, there are no brokers involved. You're going directly to the exchange. Now, giving you more control over where and when and how you trade. That's a pretty good thing, isn't it? You no longer now need to have a broker as an intermediary. Now, your journey so far, guys, we're having a look at Not For Me. Fair enough. Thank you so much for visiting, and we hope that you do find what you're looking for. You're not sure yet. It means you haven't had your questions answered. And by sticking around, I think you'll realise at the end of this that the opportunity far outweighs the time frame, the cost or investment, and then the potential of you down the track. And of course, I need more information. Sign me up and let's get started. I mean, they're the motivated ones. So here's a guy looking at the sky and he's pretty perplexed and he's saying to himself, why is futures trading so different? Now, OTC trading is standing for over the counter. This is the brokerage model, guys. You feel that without the investigation, you've just got involved because you were introduced by a friend or a relative or even your best mate, and they said, hey, come along and do some trading. I've got a great broker, and off you go. And of course, you're not really getting to understand, because when you want to know a lot about something, you do education, and that's the exact purpose we're trying to introduce you so that you can have the best choices possible. So what are futures and how do you trade with contracts and what can you trade? So let's quickly have a look at currency. Is one of those products you can trade. Soft commodities like wheat and corn, and of course precious metals like gold and silver. Indexes, which are your indices of big business. They're all broken up into little shares, and you can trade those in the future systems as contracts as well. And of course, crypto, Ethereum there, and Ripple and Bitcoin, to name just a few. There's a lot more newcomers coming on board, and of course, it is a very good product for the right application. Still going to take a little while to grab a hold, but watch this space. And yes, you can trade Bitcoin under a futures contracts. Now, what I mean by that, and this may not have been brought up anywhere else, is it's all about the regulation. Now, at the moment, those markets we were just talking about through a broker is unregulated. You'll probably find most of them are in the US. Now, all around the world have their own exchanges. But again, if you're trading Forex, if you're trading binaries or options you are not in a protected market. You're at the mercy of the broker, and those brokers pretty much are able to manipulate everything you try to do as a trader. And recourse is not one of those things that you have as an opportunity. The government can't protect you because you're talking about big business that isn't even on the shores of your country. So here in Australia, for instance, where we're located, it's very important you have consumer protection, and over-the-counter trading does not give you that. If someone asks you for the money and they're holding it, such as your credit card, and they're even in the terms and conditions able to trade on your behalf, that is not a safe process. Not when you're dealing with your hard-earned cash. It's hard enough to come by as it is. So therefore, that's why I'm so passionate about futures as a way of trading, because here in Australia it is regulated. In fact, the company who provides the education has an Australian financial service license. Now, I'm not offering any financial advice here in this webinar at all. I just want to introduce you to the education company who does. And of course, I've been through that. And as full disclosure, and I'm probably going a little out of school here, I work in that business as support. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And that should give you the confidence now. We're saying, hey, get yourself educated. And it's not just about that, it's getting it done properly. So futures are contracts of way in which you trade. Now, trade a portion of a share in a stock directly with the futures exchange from your own computer for short term and get paid straight away. Now, while I'm in the mood to have a bit more of a chat, guys, if I was working as a tradie, for instance, and I just completed a job, just imagine being able to be paid for a successful trade in a futures contract before you've even packed up and put the tools in the truck. Now, the normal day-to-day thing of a tradie is a long day. They get up early, they make sure that the materials are on site, they make sure the site's safe. That's obviously as long as it's not raining. They do a hard day's job, labour. It's very hard work on the body. And of course, you can only work so many hours a day. And then most people who are self-employed will pack the truck, go home or go straight to a client who they then got to do a quote. They'll go home and do their invoices knowing they haven't been paid. Their 9 days is blown out to 21 days to 2 months to 3 months. They've got to chase down the money to get paid. Wow, if you compare that with just doing one futures contract trade in a very short period of time being paid immediately, it's worlds apart. And that's why we are getting so many tradies and miners and people that really find it very hard and wearing and tearing to work many, many years in laborious jobs, looking at how can I work smarter and not harder. So what does futures trading look like? Now, here's a candlestick. I know it doesn't look much, but believe it or not, this is the way in which you're able to read the market. Now, the componentry of this candle is 5 minutes. So from start to finish, it takes 5 minutes to develop. And through the education, you learn to read these candles, what their message is they're saying to you, and you become a very competent, experienced trader by following the strategies. We have a high and a low, which you can see is both at the end of the wick. Then we have a close and an open, which is represented by the body. And then the direction in which the candle goes. Now, in this instance, we use green for buyers because that's the usual positive direction we'd see shares and stocks and so forth going. However, futures is very different. You can trade both ways. As you can see here, the open and closes turn around. So the direction of this candle is going down as the price goes down. And it's in the market known as a short. And reason we're bringing this up is because when you're looking at education, it generally brings you to a point of knowing or being aware of just more than what you're looking at. And that way, if you understand the basics, you can make a better decision. And of course, that'll help you get better results. So here's what a basic chart looks like in the 5 minute candle. And of course, again, mentioned to you, you can sell both ways. The red candle here denoted by the arrow is a red sell, so it's heading down. And the green is the buy candle, and it's heading up. Now, those indicators are pretty much very simple to identify because we're using patterns, and those patterns give us permission to trade. And here's an example of that. So again, we've got the red candles coming down or selling. Then the buyers decide, no, I want to go back the other direction. So there's a little bit of a rally. However, the red candle are very determined, and everybody around the world sees the same information, guys. They're all looking at the same data. Because it's not through a broker, it's not manipulated, you're not looking at different prices or times, and that means that you can make an informed decision with confidence. Now, what we're looking for is an entry point of making a trade, and we only have to make a very small trade, which we then can compound, which I'll talk about a little bit later, to make more money doing the same thing. Now, as the sellers take more control, you can see the big red candle. All of a sudden, there's a big amount of confidence from the market to sell because everybody wants to make a positive trade. And as soon as the market goes across that dotted line, which is known as the breach point, you are looking to make a trade. And of course, that's exactly where I would put an entry. And boom, that's my target. Like a sniper, I have most definitely decided to get in the market. So I buy my contract, and of course I'm only looking for it to go equivalent to the next horizontal line, and you can see that's not too far apart. And wow, look what I'm making. I'm making dollar over dollar over dollar each time I do that. That is just a standard pattern of what's known as ABC going short. You see that, guys? Wow, this is all about education, trading futures. Now, we also use automated trade management, known as ATMs. They're also known as stop losses. Our education is designed to ensure that you never trade without the protection of a stop loss. And, of course, different ways of being able to buy and sell your market. You can get in immediately, or you can wait until it gets to a certain level. All of this is also explained for those that are not aware, and it's usually just by the click of a mouse. Now, what is futures trading? How can I learn to trade, and can I make money from trading? Up to how can I learn to trade? Now, I've just seen some examples of the 5-minute candle structure. Now, if we ask ourselves, can I learn to trade? The answer is yes. And she looks pretty determined, just like I am. And the reason being is there's no more broker influence. We've got rid of those guys. We're now dealing directly with the exchange. You'll learn a proven trading strategy through the education. It's affordable, absolutely affordable, and we're going to give you evidence of that. And it's very flexible, because the last thing we want to do is give you another 8-hour job to learn something that's going to take you 4 or 5 years to get really good at before you get paid anything for your efforts. And let's explore some of those statistics now, just like that teacher was probably showing us. Now, here, the affordability of education. I want to show you the comparative cost of education and the time or the length of that education to happen. Now, futures traders over there, Mr. Smiley with his glasses, I reckon that's me. I definitely reckon that's me. Anyway, the education with the cap there is $10,000 to $20,000. Now, guys, we're a little liberal on this. Now, please don't get shy. If you are not prepared to put your hand in your pocket and pay for your education, $10,000 in today's society is not a lot to invest in your future. Now, haven't put a cap on it, but we've given you a standard entry range of education. Now, this is not drip feeding. We're giving you a professional, affordable result for those that want to take control, and you'll see the reason why I'm so passionate about that figure and how it works for you. So let's compare it now so that it becomes a reality check. The teacher, we all know a teacher has to spend time to get educated because they're educating our future. $60,000 is the average cost for them. An airline pilot, well, they got my life in their hands. I really need them to be good, and they pay $149,000 for their courses. A surgeon, again, their life is in my hand, and $355,000. In fact, Some of them you can't put value on your life, so I really wish that they get the best they can, and a judge 182,000. Now here's where the difference is. It's the time it takes to get that education. Now, as a futures trader, I am happy because it's only going to take me 3 months before I potentially can start to see a return of investment. That means I could potentially make some money if I follow the strategy and structure given to me on the online flexible education in just as short a period as 3 months. Now, how long do you think it would take a teacher before they could see a return from their investment? 4 years. 4 years for an airline pilot. A surgeon, 7 years. And a judge, 14 years, guys. Wow, it'd be like you've been at school your whole life. At uni, at college, even at your professional place of work, and you're still educating yourself. That's a lot to take in. Again, let's just look back at the future trader. $10,000 to $20,000 and 3 months. Now let's compare that education, the cost exactly, a fractional of others' education when it comes to the futures trader. 60,000, 149, 182, 355 compared to 10 to 20,000. Now, when it comes to time, this is what we really can't get back. We have one life. We've got to make the most of it. So if I can start earning in a fast-paced environment, but at the flexibility of my time, this is a really great outcome. Again, 4 years, 7 years, 14 years, approximate times of those businesses to complete their education. Now let's look at the educational cost, which is something to think about. Salary and education cost, to be more specific. And we've added in some other businesses just to give you an idea. It'll be a little bit more fair in some others. Now we've got firefighter, we've got dentist, we've got general practitioner, which is your doctor, and a neurosurgeon, which generally always earns the most income out of everybody else. But look at the cost of education involved in that. So futures traders are among the 50 highest paid professions in Australia. Wow, can you believe that? Some of you haven't even heard it for this first time. Now, with a tuition comparison that shows a distinct advantage over other high-paid professions, you can see we've highlighted the futures trader compared to the $10,000 to $20,000 investment, and the return for that is phenomenal. The only one that comes close to that is the firefighter, but the difference is with the firefighter, it's generally with the government, and they have got a cadetship and get paid along the way whilst they're getting the work experience, and it generally takes a couple of years. Now, how long will it take to pay off your education costs and comparative to your income, not forgetting your living expenses? Now, I'm sorry if the type of work you're on there isn't there, but just think of accountants, miners. Again, I mentioned tradies earlier. We have so many truck drivers. These are people that work really hard, long hours, and they've realized that, wow, you know what? If I could just leverage an hour a day and make the money that I make now, I've saved myself 7 or 8 hours a day to spend with my family. Now, it's not until something happens to you, generally you get sick, or a family member gets sick, do you realize how important that time is and how short our life is? So please don't look at this as just another way of trying to get you to buy some education. It's your journey. Now, your futures education, let's have a look at what it looks like. Now, here's a summary, guys. We're going to step this in. So we learn the basics. We set up your trading platform. You then become a professional trader, and you have massive amounts of ongoing support and community. I can't stress that enough. Being a part of that, having gone through it and working in the exact same environment, this is what it's all about. Now let's just go back and review step 1 and start with an hour a day. Approximately 40 hours of online video modules. Learn at your own pace. So the flexibility of being online, meaning it's web-based. That means that you can access it from any computer with good internet because it's not just fixed on one computer. and you can test yourself along the way, which is really important. Now, again, 13 trading modules, 32 online on-demand videos, 10 interactive quizzes to test your knowledge. You got lifetime access to the membership, support from the professional traders. These are the people that own the business, as well as hub leaders, as well as other professional traders that just because they love and have a passion for what they do, and we've all done the same education, we can share that knowledge and experience and make other people welcome and assist. And that's what the trading community is all about. Member events and webinars, trading platform training and resources. Now, we will see in a moment what that looks like and how confusing it can be when you try to do these things by yourself. How to set up your account with the support that you have, and even psychology and psychological advantage in trading is paramount. If you're not in the right headspace, you can make mistakes, even if you're tired, but you've got to be able to identify the fact that you're not in that place at the time. So please don't trade. And this is the message we have. You actually save money by not doing it at the wrong time. You want to be able to track and learn how to trade with all the management tools are there for you, and so much more. Now, setting up your trading platform and your business, and let's put what you have learned into practice. This is what we'll do, and this is why we support you all the way. Now, here's you. This is you trying to do it by yourself. I think it's really important that having been there, that one of the main reasons that you want direction, you look for professional assistance, and our education is to give that to you. Now, here's you, a laptop and internet. I think we all take that for granted these days, that most of us have that. Now, I'm talking about good internet, guys, not just something where you tether from your phone. It could be a big thorn in your side if you don't get that right. But again, how are you to know if you don't have a professional like myself to be able to point you in the right direction? You might think a phone connection's good enough. Platform, yep, what one? Where are they? How do I find one? What's data? I have no idea. Why do I need data? Where does that come from, and who gives it to me? Who do I look for that to find it? And the exchange. What do you mean exchange? I know one exchange, but that's between other people and for whatever other reason. But look, again, that question mark. What is the exchange and the bank? So there's a lot of questions that you're bringing up that you're going to try and find answers to yourself. And along the way, that just takes time, doesn't it? Now, again, here's you, the platform. All right, let's set up an account and fund the account. You found one on Google, and is it the right one? You want to buy data. Why would I buy data? What do I need data for? Okay, I need data to be able to trade with, but who supplies the data and where does it come from? And am I going to get the right one? And what if it stops when I'm in the middle of the trade? How do I know it's the right type of data? And of course, that's from the exchange to the data provider. I didn't even know there was a data provider or the exchange until somebody told me from the community. And of course, my education helped me as well. Then I had to connect the data to the platform. I mean, I've seen some of those platform guys, and they're like learning a whole new language. How do I know I've even got the right platform, and can I trade what I want to trade on it? And of course, all this just gives us a big waste of time. And time's money. Time I could have spent with my family, and time I would rather not waste. So now here's setting up with our guidance, most importantly. Now I'm going to represent this happy, smiling trader here because he's got the sunnies on. And he's pretty happy, that's for sure, purely because he's decided to bite the bullet, do the education. Why would I keep doing the same mistakes and losing more money than I can afford to lose it without the right direction and education? And then they will help me set up. They'll help me set up all of those things that I was just discussing, the market, the data, the bank, the exchange, the education from me Googling. I mean, it just is a mindset craziness. But this is just a nice, happy, straight line, smooth transition, and I'm now ready to trade. I have the confidence and competence to trade as a professional. Now, the education, what step 2 looks like and why we're so confident about your professional outcome of this application. You develop the structure of basic trading plan. You guide through getting set up to trade. We want to teach you how to use your trading platform. And I must stress, this is something you have to get really good at. We want to help you recognize the patterns on live trading platform in simulation. Watch it with your emotion that's involved. And then when you're under pressure of being in live trading, the simulation is your best friend until you have that confidence. We want to connect and learn online in fun and small group environments. Now, what that means is educational programs in addition to just your foundation is all part and inclusive of what you're looking at here today. And of course, we help on your plan and strategy so that you can practice in the markets yourself and trade with consistency and confidence. I keep going back to that. Confidence is so important. If you're not confident, then we know that leads us down the wrong pathway of success. Now, step 3 we spoke about earlier, but learn how to trade like a professional by professional traders in 5-day intensive programs with continued coaching and support. It never goes away, but you have to be strong enough. You have to stand up. You also ask for assistance. So step 3 is the exact strategies used by professional traders. This is part of your education. Okay, this is what you get. This is why it's so important you get involved with a company who cares for the outcome. They're here in Australia. They're available in Australian time frame. They are here to be able to ensure that your support is paramount. Now, the exact strategies used by professional traders: advanced strategy development and implementation, advanced candlestick analysis and charting, advanced target setting using Fibonacci extensions and retracements. Now, before I go any further, just one of our business owners, one of our coaches, has got over 20 years of experience in trading markets. That's just one, guys. There's a handful of them that are there for you. Now, we also want to help in your long-range risk control principles, detailed analysis of psychology of great traders, and of course, KPI establishment for transition to full-time trading. Our expectation is not that you can just walk in and start trading immediately. Even if you think you can, we'll support you, but we'll endeavor to ensure you have all the tools of success as part of the program. Now, step 4, now that you have learned to trade like a professional trader, your membership gives you resources at your fingertips. Now, Live Trading Room is a room in where you can mirror the professionals making a trade. Now, not every market is traded at the same time by these professionals, so you're guided towards the most popular ones that work as firstly a beginner, an intermediary, and a professional trader. It caters for all levels. Now, these moderators, as they're known as, the professional traders, call trade entries. It's up to you, after you've completed your education, as to make the decision as to whether you take the trade yourself. Because part of our education is to ensure that you create your own trading plan based, again, on your education and your experience and level of education. Everyone's different, guys, but we at least give you a live trading room to log into at your time that's available in the most popular times of the markets, that's going to give you the movement that you need to have successful trades. Now, if I'm saying something that you've realized that you've been missing in your trading experience so far, or if you've never heard of it, then that's worth finding out more, isn't it? Imagine being able to look over the shoulder of a professional trader and do exactly as what they do. Now, join a community of successful peers. Now, what I mean by that is these professional traders create such influence in the members that they want to help. and they want to connect with you. Now they have Facebook community groups, they have in-person community groups, they have online and live stream community groups where you talk about it. We talk about the markets, we talk about the strategies, and these are all the things that we've done together. Meet and chat about trading strategies on a regular basis. Also connect with a trading buddy. So you create relationships along the way with other traders. They might be on the other side of the world. It doesn't matter if you're prepared to get up together and have a phone call and share that experience, because in futures, guys, you're going straight to the exchange. You are looking at the same data at the same time frame. Now, whether that's the Asian market, the European market, or the US market, that's totally up to you. We also have education that helps you look at daily market forecasts. We provide the opportunity of one-on-one coaching and mentoring. And there's years of recorded educational webinars in your dedicated members area that is only for you because it's password protected. But it's, again, online, and you can access that anywhere in the world on any computer as long as you remember your password. And online support in Australian time. Now, I know that might seem odd, but we are talking about generally European or US markets. And, of course, through the day, there's the Asian markets and the Australian markets that you can trade in. You can get support in the time frame that suits you. And I think that's really important. Now, your journey so far, guys, starting at number 4, because 1, 2, and 3 have already decided this wasn't for them, and that's fine. So if you're still not sure yet and you need more info, then there's more to come. I still haven't probably answered those questions for you. But if you've stuck around and you're enjoying it, thank you so much. Now, look, there's going to be some of you that have a tolerance level of 8. In fact, I would have probably bought around 7 because I'm a really easy person to see value. And that's when I would have made my decision. I'm now sticking around because I'm really enjoying the content and information, because I've really struggled to have to deal with all the people out there that are just flogging stuff they're not even doing. They're in their Ferraris in front of their mansions in some place with models that they've rented. It's just not real. Just not real. So yes, let's get started. All right, we're down to the big important question. Can I make money from my trading? And of course, yes, look at these guys. How happy are they? There's typically a good range of people there. There's dad with his son, and they're spending time that they've been able to find because dad's learned a new skill. He burnt the boats. He decided to say, you know what, I don't want to be somebody that spends 12 hours a day at work and then adding up all the time that he doesn't get paid for, like even driving to and from in traffic. There's 2 hours a day, 1 hour to and 1 home, back home. That's 10 hours a week you don't get paid for. Now imagine if you could just use those 2 hours a day to replace your full-time income, or even add to it until you're happy to take the next step. And as a professional trader, naturally you're looking at working, the better you get at it, believe it or not, you're looking at working even less hours and trading less, because you're able to identify those really successful trades and put more risk involved into it. And of course, that gives you a bigger reward. Now, moving forward, what type of person makes a successful intraday futures trader? Now, there's a new word. I haven't mentioned it before for a particular reason. Futures day trader is somebody who has literally decided that they want to, from the open of the market to the close of the market, make multiple trades. They love doing it. And look, they're not fixed to the chair and they can go out and come back and then make another trade. What we're predominantly looking at, people, are intra-day trader. That means within a day. So that's why we say what suits you. There is no right or wrong time. It's what suits you. And within that day, we only expect you to have the concentration capacity of roughly an hour, 2 hours max with what you need, because there's a lot of brain power here and a lot of emotion. So firstly, what do I need? Are you over 18? That's because we have to open an account in the US market. Can you spare 1 to 2 hours a day? Well, we've already ticked that box. Do you have basic computer skills? And can you follow rules? Now, here's where it comes down to you. Are you willing to learn a new skill? Are you ready to make a change? Are you willing to invest in your future? Do you want to join a community of successful people? Now, if you've ticked all these, then I suggest you stick around and find out what's next, because income is really important to all of us. That's the way in which we have our lifestyle and pay for it. Now, here is where we compare your income for the work week and the hours it takes us to earn that income. Now, at the moment, a comparative income and time spent earning that income, more money, more time equals happiness. Now, the futures trader, $127,000 as per the Australian Tax Office per annum. Teacher, $75,000. Now, we've already discussed it takes them 4 years before they can even earn a coin. Airline pilot, $127,000 per annum. A surgeon, $131,000. And a judge, of course, we're expecting $380,000. Now, the time it takes that futures trader to earn $127,000 a year is broken down into the hourly rate. And of course, we've said from the start, it's 1 to 2 hours per week, a day, added up to about 8 hours a week. Now, let's compare that to the teacher. 54 hours to earn their $75,000 a year. 8 hours as a futures trader. See how that's highlighted? Airline pilot, 54 hours. Futures trader, 8 hours. Surgeon, 60 hours a week. Futures trader, 8 hours. And a judge, 54 hours. That's pretty good income for his return, but futures trader can earn 3/4 or 1/3 of that, 8 hours a week. Wow, is the message getting across, guys? I hope it is. Now, income per year. Here's the graph for those that are a little bit more with the mathematical side of things. 57,000, 127, 127 in the middle with the future, and 131 with the surgeon, and 380 with the judge. Now, those look pretty comparative, don't they? Now, have a look at the hours worked to earn that income. This is where there's a dramatic difference. Wow, I'd rather be at 8 hours than 54 at a minimum. Can we all see that? Again, if you're shaking your head, if you're saying, yes, I can, then you're on the right path. There's really nothing more glaring than that comparison. Now, here's the interesting facts. Male futures traders ranked number 30 with a taxable income of $264,830. That's over $250,000 a year, guys. Now, who can tell me how many hours a week gives them potentially that income? But women shined in this area, absolutely smashed the boys. Women traders did far better in terms of ranking and income, holding the rank of 4th and earning an average taxable income of $281,600. Now, I'm not that really fast with maths, but I can see if I combined those two, man and woman married, traded together, we're looking at $500,000. That's if you are that type of level trader. Now, it's not everybody, and I really must stress that. There are no guarantees in trading. There's high risk in both making money and losing money. And of course, I'm not saying at all for one instance these income levels are guaranteed. They've probably worked really hard over it over a longer period of time. But then in saying that, when we're talking about the tax department, who wants to tell them all the money they made? Wow, now there's food for thought. So a teacher, a surgeon, an airline pilot, and a judge, they're asking themselves, wow, that's pretty impressive. How can I increase my income? I can ask the boss for a pay rise, get a promotion. Can anyone else think of what else is something I could ask? How can you increase your income? Just think of the job you're doing. Are you a bricklayer? Love bricklayers. They get out there, they work really hard, but they can only lay as many bricks in a day as physically possible, can't they? So how is a bricklayer going to lay twice as many bricks in the same amount of time? It's food for thought. I'll leave that one with you. Can you work more hours? Can a teacher and a surgeon and a pilot and a judge take on more patients? Well, maybe we're just talking about the surgeon there. He's perplexed. Look at that face, guys. He's not the happy trader smiler, is he? He's thinking, how can I? I'm already working close to 60 hours a week. Futures trader. He can compound what they call compounding their income by doing exactly the same thing. Wow. As you get better at trading, it's a phenomenon. You can double your account and then double it again in a shorter time frame. Now let's find out how. Once you've doubled your initial trading account and proven your trading strategy with just trading one contract, then you're ready for compounding. And that's done by trading 2 contracts, doubling your income again. Now, if I trade 10 contracts, I mean, where's the limit? But let's just start off slow. 10 contracts, I now can multiply my same income times 10 by doing exactly the same thing. Now, when we're looking at the other guys, the teacher and the judge and so forth, most of them are on salary and wages, and they're on flat income. Even though they still have debt they've got to pay back for their education that they're paying for. Here's what happens when you compound. In a shorter time frame, you're able to earn considerably more money doing exactly the same thing, because that money gives you much more income. Now, as a futures trader, to increase your income, you use compounding by adding contracts. And here they go, add another one and another one and so on. Now, as a surgeon, to increase your income, you must clone yourself. And another one, and another one. Now, I'm pretty sure you're probably saying to yourself, not possible, not going to happen. You're 100% right, it is not possible. And in fact, I think we were all talking about such a time waster before, it's not even worth thinking about, and there's big red crosses going all over that. So I think it comes back to the fact that if you get really good at making an income from one contract, and then you do exactly the same thing and so on, you're doing really well. Now, does that work for you guys so far? Now, what does this mean for you? That futures trading is accessible. You don't need a broker to trade. You can interact directly with the futures exchange, which means you have control over your money. You have choice. Now, the futures markets, they're open 23 hours a day, and there are over 100 markets to choose from, which means you trade when it suits you on the market that suits you. All you need is a laptop and good internet. Now, that means to me I can trade futures anywhere, which means you are free to make money wherever you want. You can leverage your time, trade from as little as 15 to 90 minutes a day, which means You have time doing the things you want to do. We spoke about that earlier, didn't we? If you've got a family, it's spending time with your kids. I mean, I'm a dad. I can't remember before I discovered futures trading how many times I wanted to go and pick my kid up from school, take them to their sports carnival, just watch them grow up, enjoy it. You miss all that when you're working so hard. Now let's just check in on our time journey. So you need more information? Fine, book a call. I'll talk to you. You can answer the questions you've got. You'll get me, guys. I'm here waiting for you. And of course, if you think it's for you and you want to get started, book a call. It's that simple. Now, Between the Trades is a futures trading education. That's it, guys. Thank you for attending this webinar. We look forward to hearing from you and answering any questions you may have about your futures trading education. Remember the past, live in the present, prepare for the future. That's what we're doing here together, guys. All right, take care. Have a good one. Look forward to talking to you soon. And please think about it.